Liftoff and the clock has started.
This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy each and every time.
Well, hello there, fellow time travelers. I am Daniel, the Past Life Regressionist, and this is episode number 4 of Timeless Spirituality. And today's episode is with a friend of mine. Her name is Rachel Alyce, and we're going to talk all about her past life experience. And I'm calling this episode Revelations of the Quarter Life Funk because there are some revelations from Rachel's book, The Quarter Life Funk. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and if you're interested in the session, you can go ahead and reach me on Instagram at the Past Life Regressionist or at my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com. Rachel, thank you so much for being here.
Hello, Daniel. Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm a little excited to have you on today because I think it's just going to be fun. You're so, I was going to say you're so, I was self-censoring there. You're so much f***ing fun, and I'm just so excited to have you on.
Thank you. Honestly, I don't. You know what? I don't see myself as that, and when other people say it, it's very nice. So I'm glad I'm fun. I'm glad I'm fun to you. So, yes.
Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So my name is Rachel Alyce, and I'm currently, I always say currently because, you know, our paths are never set. I'm currently a business coach for coaches and spiritual entrepreneurs, and I help them to launch or scale their businesses. But previously, I'm an author as well. And before I got to the stage where I am today, I was a kind of mindset manifestation teacher based around how I had this quarter life crisis, which my book is called The Quarter Life Funk, and how I used spiritual concepts like manifestation, gratitude, forgiveness, etc., to improve my life, to attract or to, you know, achieve the things that I wanted to do and to completely transform my life. And that's where I started, went into the online space, and it all evolved from there.
Oh, thank you for sharing. And also Quarter Life Funk, what a title.
I know, I heard it in my head come through and I didn't know what funk meant. So I Googled it and it made sense. So thanks, Spirit, for that one.
Brilliant. So, you know, before the first question I usually ask, I want to ask you a different one, which is you've had conventional hypnotherapy. Was it NLP that you did?
Oh, I've had all sorts. I've had rapid transformational hypnotherapy, which is like hypnotherapy, but the version I call on speed. Or there is hypnotherapy, and there's NLP as well, which is neuro-linguistic programming.
What would you say the main difference was between those modalities and past life regression?
I would actually say there wasn't overly that much difference. If anything, I felt the past life regression was a lot deeper. I'm going to go back, actually. I felt the past life regression was a lot more powerful and shifting. And the external impacts were felt immediately afterwards. And things happened in my life immediately afterwards. Where the hypnotherapy and past rapid transformational hypnotherapy, like the shifts and things take a little bit longer, you know, like it's all wiring up. And it takes a little bit more longer to see the changes. So I thought, does that make sense?
God, I love that answer.
Okay.
That turned out better than I ever could have imagined. So thank you for that.
Okay.
So one of the first questions I like to ask is, with the preface that I always tell people to go into a session without any expectations, because however you think a past life regression is going to be, it's not going to be that. So with that said, was it what you expected it would be?
So I'll give you a little bit of a background to past life regression for me. When I was about 15 or 16, my friend's father was a medium, and I just ended up in his living room one night with all of his friends doing past life regression. And I ended up like going and like, you know, sitting on whatever it was and him taking me under, through the past life regression. And I just wasn't there. I just wasn't getting it, I'm probably a little bit too young, or could be something else. So I was always a little bit fearful. And when we spoke, and we, obviously prior to the experience, you do a lot of prep on making us feel comfortable and talking through everything with us. I kind of worried, and I said, like, Daniel, I might not go. Will I go under, or like do? And I have done hypnotherapy and all them before, so I thought maybe so. But I was just something with the past life, because I've had one before, and it wasn't. I wasn't. Well, I thought I couldn't go under. And I remember people like laughing and giggling around me as I said, I can't see or can't do anything. I was quite worried. But I did. I went under, and it wasn't in a sense that a lot of the information came from me was not through a load of imagery. It was like I saw like little shots and images, but a lot of it I connected up by a kind of clear, like an inner knowing. I just knew things without being able to explain why. I didn't see the image in front of me. I just knew for sure that had happened. You successfully got me to the point. And like I said, it was just, I thought I would see everything moving image-wise, but for me, it wasn't. I had like these little snapshots. I connected the dots by just a really core, deep inner knowing as well. Like I just knew stuff. You'd ask me questions and I just know everything. It was crazy.
Thank you for that. And when you said that people were laughing around you, were you referring to the one you did when you're 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
no, not yours. No one was. Yeah, it's just us two.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I don't remember there being anyone else there. Cool. Well, thank you for that. Would you mind recapping the experience?
Yeah, sure. So I only had two experiences, and the final one was I was really, and you remember, I was really like, whoa, disorientated, because it was just really crazy. And I'll explain why. I'll leave the listeners in suspense. The first past life, and this is really interesting, and I felt like I went on a school trip years ago when I was about 7 or 8 years old to like this kind of old hall that was probably in the Victorian times. And I just knew as this young kid that we went round and we're having the tour, and I felt like I'd been there. I felt like I'd been in this era, or I at least been here before. And I remember that trip being really poignant in my mind. And I remember going home to my mum that day and being like, I felt it was such the most weirdest feeling ever. I went to like, I just knew. Anyway, so I had the lifetime. I went back into this lifetime and I could see my feet, and they're these awful, oh my gosh, these most disgusting, dreadful little black shoes with laces. And I had the most tiniest feet. And I was like, girl, these shoes are disgusting. Anyway, I looked at my feet, and I was scrubbing floors, and I kind of was like, right, I'm a maid in this kind of like, it felt like a Victorian time. And it wasn't what I was doing, but it was who walked in, and it was the owner of the house. And I looked at him and he looked at me, and it was somebody I knew in this lifetime. And straight away I was like, I know this person. I know, same similar face. And I instantly knew, and you were like, who is it? And I goes, it's the man who owns the house. And I'm like, I'm having an affair with him. Like, we're having an affair. And you were like, okay. And then you're like, where is his wife? And his wife I never saw, but I just knew. And I said to you, they don't get on. They don't get on together. They don't, do this and that. And they're kind of together because they have to be. But like the bond between us was very strong. So him and I were having this affair. And then I remember these parts flashing. And then I remember I was on a table, which is interesting because my story in this like current lifetime. I was on this table and these big forceps, and there's candles by me, and I was having an abortion, and I was screaming and everything. And I know I'm sounding really bitty and like short because this was so long ago. We had this past life regression quite some time ago, so it's not completely fully in my mind and fresh. I do apologize. But good. In short, that's what happened. And the person was somebody in this lifetime who I met, who I felt an indescribable soul connection to. And now I know why. And I had not spoken to this person for 4 years, probably 3 or 4 years. And a few days later, because you took me into like this cord cutting thing as well, a little bit as well, to release him. And as well, I was having an abortion because I think something during that time, he couldn't be with me because of my social maybe status. I'm not too sure. And that person messaged me randomly a few days later. from like not speaking to me for years. How mental is that?
I
Like
mean, I
how,
wish I could say I'm surprised.
but you're not, are you? Because you go through all these experiences. Let me ask you, what do you think that was? What do you think that was the result of, Daniel? What's your take on that? Even though he like cut cords with that person.
I feel that he felt the connection severed.
Yes. That was their moment of reaching back out. So yes, I remember that. And I remember, like I said, such a deep soul connection with that person. I've never described it. And I like saw them literally, I knew who it was. And I don't know why I had that past life come up that time. It was weird because I've got so much in my, my business that I wanted to explore. Because for me, and I know how incredibly powerful past life regression and healing past lives is for entrepreneurs in particular, especially if for money-ish, like aspects for money, what you did in past lifetime, persecution for what you did. So I personally know how powerful past life regression is for business. So when Daniel, we arranged a session, I was super excited and I thought, fuck, I'm going to be going into business way. And it wasn't that. We went into a deep relationship that I needed clarity in because I was left from that person left me a little bit high and dry. So yeah, I got dumped at Auckland Airport. I sound like I'm so wounded to say it by that particular person. So it was really super clarity and helpful when I had the past life.
What I found really interesting was something that came to my attention months later, which was I was interviewing Liz Roberta.
This is freaky as well. I didn't know if you knew this. Oh, you did, yes.
Yeah, she told me about it.
Get ready for this one, guys.
Go for it.
No, you tell them. You.
Well, what she had told me was,
yeah,
Liz had seen a life, and again, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't identify the person by name and what transpired during their session. But since this was already recorded between me and Liz, and that it's already out there, I guess that's my way of just saying, everyone, like, your secrets are safe with me. what happens during a session stays between us.
Yeah, and Liz and I are close friends, so it all makes sense.
And so, yeah, like when I was speaking with Liz on the recording, she had mentioned that, well, let me just back up a little bit for Liz and what she had seen in one life, which was, Liz is a writer now and an incredible spiritual coach and entrepreneur. And in that life, she was living as a Victorian housewife who really wanted to write and was a writer, but her husband was just this awful man. And he threw all of her writing into a fire. It was heartbreaking, just at least from where I was sitting, of, oh my God, this woman's work, all that she wants to do, everything she wants to put out there to the world, this man is controlling it, and he's now destroyed it. And then she had mentioned that when she had talked about it with you a while later, that you guys had realized that she was the wife of the man you were having the affair with. Because she described it very similarly.
Yeah, she had the same experience and we went through it together. And I actually did feel like I couldn't make out who it was, but the woman had similar feet. Like it's an interesting past life regression. I don't know if they looked like that person at the time, but I was able to connect up who they were. And when she said about it, I had all chills and I just thought I think we're connected because we've had other lifetimes together. Not, and she's feel about them because we've come together in this lifetime as well. And when she mentioned a story, it just really hit home because he couldn't stand her. And that's why I remember he couldn't stand his wife. It was the same era. And yeah, it just was remarkably, massively weird that it was all it just all connected up. It was crazy.
I just realized I forgot the most part of like, I'm already tongue-tied over this one. I forgot the most important part of the story, which was in that life when I was doing the regression with Liz, she saw you as like the house help. So
she saw me as the house. That was it. Yeah, she saw me as she used to talk. I think she probably knew he was. I don't know. Yeah,
I think she knew.
Yeah, she used to, and probably would. That makes me feel better because I don't want to be having affairs with people's partners.
Well, she didn't like him by any stretch of the imagination.
Maybe I might have shared a photo of said person. She instantly hated that person.
Yeah, that's what she said. And
I'm glad that she said that. Okay.
What was interesting about that for me also is the sessions I did with you guys were not that far apart. I think it was maybe separated by a couple of weeks or a month.
A couple of weeks, yeah.
And it didn't dawn on me when she had said that
yeah.
Oh my God, like Rachel was describing this one, but she was just in the other room getting just, yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I'm kind of like, this was quite a while back, and I don't know what Liz has said and what we haven't, but it's just absolutely crazy how all that unfolded and we pieced it all together. And now we're together in this lifetime and we're working together. We're doing various projects together. We felt, and I remember looking at Liz's page when and I just instantly knew who she was. It was so weird. I was like, I know this girl, I know this woman. And we've had this friendship online, and actually we've been obviously couldn't meet up because of COVID. We actually met up last week. No, not last week, 2 days ago in real person, and we're going away together soon. Just crazy calmness and knowing, and it's just crazy how we've all got these soul families that we reincarnate. We do different, like we have different experiences with them in different lifetimes. In that lifetime, I was the woman that was having an affair with the husband, and now like I'm the entrepreneurial sister. It's just crazy. And then there was another one. We're both aliens or something. I forget what we've had. We've had many. We've all different connections.
I don't remember if I mentioned it. If I did, I apologize. If not, well, I'm going to mention it now. I remember her saying that she got along with you. I mean, maybe I'm misremembering that in that life.
Yeah, no, I think she did. I think we had, I think it was I felt like it was known.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like she shared a lot with me as well about I had flashes of things. And I think, it was, we probably did.
Right. So even with that dynamic, you guys still got along in that life. And of course, like in this life, you guys are really close, which is, it's really cool. Like it's so cool. And for me as a practitioner, it's really cool to hear those overlapping stories, even when I don't realize them in the moment. So for her to tell me that months later, I was like, oh yeah. Like,
I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, and that must be the for one thing that I wanted to shout out for you is I've never met somebody so incredibly passionate about, I can't call it modality because it's more special than that. Somebody so incredibly passionate about what they do. Like you when you said to me this will take up to 3 hours, I was like, how does he do this? But it's just so much discovery for you and enthusiasm behind it. And it's so nice to see that and experience that was a kind of practice with somebody who's so passionate about what they do. I think it makes it more special and more powerful. So thank you for setting the stage and allowing us to have these experiences.
You're very welcome. And thank you for that. Like it means a lot to me. So just thank you. And of course it makes it easy with someone like you because you're easy to work with. So, so it's not boring even when we're talking beforehand.
Yeah.
Because
we're saying some good stuff and we forgot to record it, but maybe another episode or the future we'll talk about these things.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you on for that one. I'm not giving you a choice. Sorry. Okay, wait, let me rephrase that. Maybe I should ask more politely. Rachel, can I have you on as a guest for another episode to talk about the things we were talking about earlier, but recorded this time?
Definitely, yeah.
And but you're coming on again. So
amazing, can't wait.
Okay, Rachel, you have the floor.
So that was one life. So I only had 2 lifetimes. Like I remember Liz speaking to me, she had about 50 or something. I was like, oh my God.
Well, not during the session.
Yeah.
We didn't do 50 during the session.
She had quite, I'm like exaggeration, but she had way more than me during the session. I just was really slow. Then this was so freaky. And I really, you remember, I was so unsettled with this and I couldn't believe it. So you goes, where are you now? And I was like, I was in these gorgeous heels, much better shoes than before, thank fuck. I was in these gorgeous heels And I was about to go on stage, and you goes, "Where are you? Where are you?" And I goes, "I think I'm in the future." It was so weird. And you goes, "You're in the like." I said, "I think I'm in the future," and I was just about to go on stage. Somebody speaking to me with a clipboard, and then I went on stage. It was bloody big, lots of people there. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I walked up to a woman, a host, and then I sat on the sofa, and a book was on the table. It made sense because I'm a writer, so I was like kind of piecing this all together. And yeah, so it was a crazy experience, and I still, this is probably part of my limiting beliefs to myself. Struggle with that moment, because I'm like, how is that possible? But it was very big. It was very big. I was in the future, and I must have been a very big author or something like that.
When you say the future, it was this life though, like down the road in this life is
Yeah,
Rachel,
it was
correct?
like, it was like down the road in this lifetime. It didn't feel like it was, it felt like it was this lifetime.
I remember what was really cool about that one for me is still, I know the session's all about you, but naturally I get excited as well. That was the first time I'd encountered a situation like that. Like I have clients who go into the future because there's something that they need to see. So right away, when you jump into the future, I'm like, okay, there's something she needs to see here. That's why she's seeing it. And when you saw yourself on stage, like that was a new experience for me. I didn't encounter that one yet. But
this is when you were saying, I was like, I was struggling, wasn't I? I was like, don't, like, you could hear me go, I'm in the future. Like, I'm in my future.
What really was just mind blowing for me about the whole thing was I had like 5 of those happen within the span of like 2 months with
I remember you telling
other
me.
people. Yeah.
I remember.
Like and they were all authors. And I mean, some were published, some weren't, but definitely had that creative spark. And just like one after another. And by the second or by at least the third one, I'm like, all right, I got this down now. Like I know what to do when they see themselves
and then
up on stage.
Yeah. And then you did say like you do quantum. It was good. It was accessing the quantum aspect of all timelines and the future as well.
Yeah.
So past life regression, I wouldn't necessarily call your sessions past life. I would say they were more quantum.
Right. I mean, for me,
timelines. Yeah.
The reason why I don't say quantum is because, I mean, the technical term for what I do is called quantum healing. Past life regression is part of it, but it's quantum healing. But I feel it's too pretentious for me to call myself a quantum healer. And why? I don't like the word healer for myself. I just do not feel comfortable labeling myself that way. And for past life regression, look, if I say quantum healing to someone who is already in the spiritual community or already on board with these things,
yeah, it's probably part of a message. It's a messaging thing, isn't it? More or less, it's like people. It says it what it is on the tin. People know it, and then if they have the quantum experience like I did, then they're able to say, "Oh, that's cool." I went
exactly. So even if they don't know what quantum healing is, but I tell them, like they're already on board with these things, it's not going to scare them away. Whereas if I'm in, I don't know if it's 1% of the population or 99% that's not on board. I'm just making that generalization right now. But let's just say I meet someone who's part of the other 99% who's not on board with these things. The second I say the word quantum or healer, I've lost them if I'm engaging in a conversation with them, because they check out at that point. Whereas if I say past life regressionist, it's much more grounded. I mean, even though it's still very ethereal, it's
still something that they can access, isn't it?
Exactly, because those words individually are not scary. And I mean, not that still, I'm not scared away by quantum healer, quantum healing, or any of those things, but I'm thinking about everyone else. And so even like, I think you're probably the perfect person to bring this up with right now is as a business person, which look, first and foremost, I think of myself as a past life regressionist. That's what I care about, is what you get out of a session. But I also have to be out there as a business person because it is a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, you have to market yourself. Yeah.
Right. And there are thousands of practitioners who do what I do, and thousands who are accessible to many people who are already into these things. And they're duking it out over that small percentage of the population. Whereas I want to be more accessible to everyone else. I want to be the one who they're like, you know what? He's okay. Like, he's not off his rocker. Like, he's talking like us. I can keep up with what he's saying. And so I'm accessible to them. And I'm also accessible to the portion of the population, like that spiritual community, who's already on board with these things. So it's like I've already got my foot in both doors. So that's why I like to call it past life regression instead of just quantum healing and quantum healer. And I mean, of course, it is much more than past life regression. Much, much, much more. But if someone comes in with that expectation and then sees himself in a past life and a future life, well, I think it's a win.
We'll take it. Exactly. Yeah, it was a win. It was super interesting and super powerful. I said to you, I questioned it a little bit and I said, was it more of a metaphor for me? But I met my higher self as well. Did I tell you, did I forget to mention all that? So as you were guiding me through, you were asking me to go to speak to people in the audience to gain a little bit more what was going on. And I still struggle with talking about what they said because I feel like such a big-headed person, because it was so, wow, like, bloody hell, you're talking about me. I'm like, Jesus. And I was like struggling to tell you what they were saying. I was like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. And then I was going up on the stage, back on the stage, and the book was there. You asked me what the front cover was. And then we said something about, you said, right, let's go meet your higher self. And my higher self walked in and I said it was a wolf. And I remember this wolf climbing on the sofa so like seductively and powerfully, and I could see every hair. And you said, ask the name, because you really went with this session. It was just turning into all these different, it was just going crazy. And then I was like, she was like Sheba or Shiva. And I was like, okay. And I said the name, and she kind of gave me some advice. And it was after that moment, I went the next day. And now bear in mind, I live in Bangkok. The English language isn't really spoken that much. I heard somebody shout, Sheba. And I was like, and I said to the person, I was like, oh, who's Sheba? And he's like, oh, our friend. And I was like, what the actual fuck? Do you know what I mean? Because I was struggling with the name. And then somebody said it the next day in Bangkok. How random is that?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So I'm surprised. And then I kept having loads of, obviously working in the spiritual community. I coach a lot of psychics and intuitives, probably healers. They're my main body of people that I work with. So I naturally get a lot of messages from, and I also do a lot of my clients always offer me sessions so I can get to know their business, which is very sweet of them. And it's not something I ask, but they just generally feel drawn to do. And I was getting constantly wolf all the time, which was straight after that moment, which is super interesting. So, and it was kind of like it wasn't a white, it was a gray wolf. So I kind of like researched that, and afterwards, because I went down that kind of like looking at that power animal and what it represented. But she was so calm, so like poised. And it was crazy how she presented herself as an animal. So yeah, I went into the future and met a wolf. How random is that? Yeah, you must have some experiences. I watched a few of your videos on Instagram, and everybody's experiences are so like amazing,
That's why I love what I do, because I never know what's going to happen. Like, I'm always on my toes during a session. It's like, okay, I got to figure this one out now. Like, oh my God, Rachel, it was so exciting for me doing your session when you hopped into the future.
Yeah.
Because like it was getting that framework and blueprint down. And I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you, but I set an intention for myself before I met you, or maybe not for myself, but I asked my guides or my higher self, bring me authors. Bring me authors, because I want to work with people who will have a reach and who will get the message out to crowds that I may not be able to reach. And then just one after another, just these authors start showing up. And what was really, really cool about it also, when they would find themselves in practically the same situation that you were in,
crazy,
was they talked about how they were one of a few speakers at these events. Like there were other people who were similar to them.
Yeah, I said that on mine as well. I said these other
Right?
people would. Yeah, I said these other people.
And I was like, of course this would happen. And for some of you guys, like, here's the other fun thing about what I do is unless someone acknowledges that they do a session with me, like I won't acknowledge it to anyone else. So, people who I've done sessions with, I don't know if they've told you or not, if they've done sessions with me. And it's like I see overlap in those groups or by people who either I was on someone's podcast or you were on their podcast or someone's podcast and this other person was a guest on that podcast as well. Like I see these intertwining webs that just crisscross everywhere. I'm like, of course this would happen because we're all connected in that way. And
do you notice something else? Most of us are the grounded spiritual type as well. Like I feel.
Yeah. I mean, definitely the ones who had a similar experience were of the grounded type. Even it's still weird to use those two words in the same sentence, like grounded and spiritual. But
yeah,
I mean, it's true.
I know.
That's what we are, though. Like the people who are like you and myself, you and I, you and me. I don't know what's correct grammatically there. Like we're very grounded in the spiritual respect.
Yeah,
and like that's the feeling I got from all of these experiences that my author clients were having. And also I've had authors who didn't have an experience like that. Like they saw what they needed to see.
Yeah.
But the crowds that they described were just so similar in nature where like it wasn't a crowd of people walking in wearing only hemp clothing. Like they described not there's anything wrong with that.
No.
But
it was people like I felt like it was like a concert, like what the outfits that you would see at a concert. Normal, like
like
it wasn't a spiritual retreat. It was like a very kind of like it was almost, and I think we both said this, like this, like it's almost like we've become the new kind of attraction rather than the singers in that sense. It was like just plopping us in a concert.
And like that's the feeling that I got for it. It's just you and these other authors were just so accessible to normal people. So I'm hesitant to use that word normal people, but just so when I say normal people, I mean people who you wouldn't suspect of being into spirituality. But it felt like at this point, because you all pretty much described it on the same time frame, like that it's about 5 to 10 years down the road. And
it is. It felt like that as well. And I've had somebody say to me, I'm 30. I've had somebody say something to me a couple of times who was one of probably the most respected psychic and channelers I've ever met. She said something about my book and the level it will get to. And then she said, 40 is going to be the big year for you, like 40. And then after this book, I never thought I'd write another book again. I was so done with writing. And I've had recently inspiration for another book, which is crazy because I was just like, I'm not writing again, because it's a lot of work. She said that, and that kind of married up the future timeline married up with some of the stuff that she said, but I still don't believe it because it's so, I feel like such a, like, oh God, I'm on a stage, there's crowds of people. I just can't get to that. I can't get there still. I'm like, ugh. It feels, it's something I need to work on myself. But the things he was saying, like I said, I was so embarrassed to share them with you. I was like, because it was just so, yeah. And it's lovely that that's the truth and this happens and I've helped people in that way. I just can't take that level of, compliments still. I'm so British.
Oh, is that a British thing?
Oh gosh, yeah, we can't. If somebody gives us a compliment, we'll be like, "Oh, you look so slim." I'm a fat fucking bitch. I've had 5 cupcakes before.
Oh, thank you for that lesson. I learned something new every day about different cultures.
I went off a little bit there, but
Hey, it's okay. It's fun though. But kind of to piggyback more on what you were saying for how it felt to see that was, we talked about it a bit beforehand about the potential for another book. And I think you said to me what you had just stated a few minutes ago, we're like, I don't think I have it in me. Like, what am I going to write about? So to me, what added that extra layer of validity was, I don't think you believed that you had it in you to stand in front of that many people and move that many people to the point where they would come see you speak.
Yeah, so, I agree. Yeah.
Because it was so contrary to what you were saying beforehand.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
So like, that's why I feel that the higher self showed it to you, because still, I'm not the one who's dictating what you're seeing. Like, the higher self is always the one who knows what you need to see. So that's why they're like, okay, she needs to see the future. So that's why people come to me and say, can I see the future? I say, if your higher self feels that you can see the future, then you'll see it. But I'm not making any promises.
Yeah.
And
I felt both lucky in a way, and also, like I said, because it was so big, I was like, whoa, no, this is not for me, you know. Well, I feel it's going to be one of those moments where, if it does happen, and you're probably thinking, well, when it does, come on, it was, you know, Rachel's still getting behind this. It's definitely gonna have to be a phone call or a message. I think you were. I honestly felt like you were probably with us, but you know, with me. But it's gonna.
Not the only one who said that.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna have to. I think I said that during the thing. Who's there? And I think I said it. I felt, you know, you and I think it's gonna be one of those moments where I'll be like, remember that past life regression? Look at this. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
So I started doing this thing after, when I started to see this pattern happening, where like, I, like, for my clients, I would Venmo them like $2 and say, there, I've now bought myself a front row seat at your show. Like, I'm getting a discount on it. So like, and I'm collecting on that. So you owe me. So you better make this happen, because I've already paid for it. So you got to follow through. I guess I have to Venmo you still.
I think you're part of the show, dear. So I don't think you need to be front seat.
Well, then I'm going to ask for my $2 back.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm interested to see what unfolds and where life takes you. And sometimes, like, we can have so much information about the future. And one of the things that I've had to get used to is grounding myself now in the present. And like, even sometimes I think I know too much, or I'm aware of too much that could potentially unfold. And it's sometimes that you have to really go, right, okay, if this is it, just stop trying to jump to that stage now, or, you know, kind of the journey is just unfolding perfectly as it is, and just trust and just go with the flow, and, you know, and what will be, you know, where you will end up, where you end up ultimately. But it can be difficult when you know a lot to not try and get, you know, quickly speed the journey up, or expect it to speed up.
Yeah, I mean, I totally hear you on that one. And where I think the dichotomy comes in with this particular situation is it an absolute that it's going to happen? And I don't think that that's something that can be answered, because I still think that you have a choice in the matter, because you may never want to write another book, and that's your choice. And
exactly. We have free will, and we have a number of timelines that are potentially possible, I feel. That's my view. And I think what was presented to me, if anything, was the highest possible probably timeline.
That there's your potential. And plus, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think your potential goes beyond that room. I think that was just showing you, hey, this is like an appetizer right now. Or do you guys call them hors d'oeuvres? Or I don't know, what do you guys call everything before the meal?
Call them a starter.
The starter.
Starter main.
It's just a starter. And for me, I don't know if we talked about this, but when I was younger, like, I live in Los Angeles, and I was a huge baseball fan. And I would always go to Dodger Stadium to watch the Dodgers play. And I would look at that field and say, I'm going to be on that field working one day. Granted, I always thought it was going to be as a baseball player. I'm too old for that now. And that's
Did you get? What were you?
Well, here's the thing is, once I started to really set my sights high for what I want to achieve as a past life regressionist, I said, okay, so this is what's going to happen now. I'm going to sell out Dodger Stadium as a past life regressionist, because I'm going to do a group regression for 56,000 people.
There you go.
Everything that I do now, I ask myself, will this help me get on that stage? And if the answer is an overly resounding no, then I'm not going to do it. If I feel it's going to take me further away from it. Now, I think an argument can be made that everything I do can contribute to that, but that's where I'm setting the bar. Now, at the same time, if I only make it to an arena and sell out a 20,000 seat arena, that's not a failure. Like, that's still a huge success. Or if I'm only able to sell out a convention center.
Exactly.
If I'm setting the bar that high, I'm never going to fail as long as I'm striving for something. And the day that I die, will I really say, oh my God, I'm so disappointed that I didn't do that? Like, my life was worth nothing. No, because look at everything that I achieved while striving for this thing that, from where we stand right now in society, is pretty much unobtainable. But I don't feel that that will be the case forever. I just don't. I feel that things of this nature are going to become so much more prevalent in just mainstream society.
Yeah.
And like you said, people such as ourselves will be replacing concerts. I mean, of course, I think there will always be musicians, but where self-help attractions will become so much bigger, and they will be something that's more, not a spectacle necessarily, but like where you're really excited to be at this show. Like, it's a show that people are at. And but not a show for show, but where we're just at a point where we are so excited to, we're gonna dive into our shadows. We're gonna cry while we're sitting here. Like, we're gonna see normal people who aren't flashy at all. Like, like, that's gonna be a show. And that's a show that I want to go to. Like, I take that back. That's a show that I want to be a part of. Like,
yes, change the word. Yes, remember.
So that's the way that I see it. Is it's all heading towards this. Like, everything. It's a matter of where we're heading. You know, for me, and I think this can be applied to you just right off the bat, is when you wrote that, or your first book, The Quarter Life Funk, it was all about your Saturn return.
Yeah.
And, you know, for those of you who aren't aware with the Saturn return, it's an astrological expression that refers to when Saturn comes back to the place that it was at the time of your birth. And what it signifies basically is that it's going to move you in the direction where your life is supposed to go. And you can resist it as much as you want, but it's probably going to be a little painful. But a lot of change will happen during that time. Now, you became an author during your Saturn return. I became a past life regressionist during my Saturn return. And prior to my Saturn return, past life regression wasn't even on my radar.
I didn't. I would never thought in a million years I would do all the things that I have done or be where. It's crazy. And I think some people's Saturn returns slightly differ. Like, I think, you know, it is for me a little bit like, hey, right, get your shit, like literally what my book says, get your shit together now. Where are we getting you there? What you doing? Where are we aligning you? And I felt the energy before the actual, because you can actually go and calculate your Saturn return and what exact age, but you know, I think it's like 29.5 years. But because think about the energetics of Saturn as a planet and its massive, huge mass of, you know, you're going to feel that beforehand. You're going to start feeling it like at 27. You're going to start noticing things. I feel, anyways, but everybody's is different. I just felt like in intensities. But whenever I used to talk about Saturn returns on my podcast, because obviously you might be aware that I used to have a podcast, which I'm currently, you know, not on doing at the moment. When I used to have podcast interviews for my book, I used to talk about the concept of Saturn return, and a few of the like hosts would go, "Oh my gosh, hang on a minute, what age?" And then they would reflect on a time point of something quite momentum, whether it's maybe committing and getting married at that point, or something significant happening around that area, like people changing careers. Like, you know, they often say a few divorces might take place at that time as well, you know? So it's super interesting. And like both of ours were the moment we aligned with what we were truly, maybe more of our purpose.
I think it's hard to ignore that that's what happened for ours. So when I see you emerging as a writer at that time or as an author, like, yeah, she's not done yet. Like, there's no way. There's no way that she's doing one book. No, that's the first of many.
Oh, yeah. You know what, though? Like I said, anyone like it's a great book. Like the reviews are just incredible, right? Because I've got a swear word in the word, I struggle to advertise it. Facebook, Amazon.
Funk?
No, it's got in a subtitle, "Get your shit together."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I remember I got away with Facebook ads for a bit. I was like, bye, Facebook. And it did amazing. It was shared everywhere. I was constantly getting story updates and people coming into my DMs saying, "I'll make like the change." I got a DM the other day saying that your book changed my life. I just need to let you know that. And that was incredible. And I think that book hasn't had its day yet. I think that book is going to come into its power later a little bit. And at the moment, because I'm so shifted with helping women create businesses and, you know, share their light and create these big ripple effects, I'm just like, I'm gonna let the book kind of settle a little bit. But this being a recent a spark of idea for a new one, for sure. But what I'm hoping is the future books, if anything, will really highlight the first book. The first book's really special. I think the first book is, I share very vulnerable things in that book as well, like a little bit out, not many people talk about. So, it's I don't think it's had its day, that book yet.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree. And I think the magic is in the minute details of even what you're doing, because the people who you're helping right now, they're going to be the leaders of the future in their industries. And look, from as well as I know you, you don't come across to me as someone who's going to create enemies out of the people you're working with. Like you seem to me like someone who is going to create a sense of community, and that these people will have your back until the end of time. So when they rise to their positions, when anyone asks them for whatever recommendation or whatever it may be, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, Rachel Alyce, the Quarter Life Fund. Get your shit together."
Oh, that would be the dream. I one day hope for that future person. That would be the dream. Yeah.
And that person may have already been someone who worked with you, and they're just building themselves up right now. Look, for everyone listening right now, you have Rachel to thank for me doing this podcast, because she is someone who kept saying to me, like, this format's meant for podcasting.
Oh yeah, I remember saying to you, like,
yeah, you like, you need to show your face on Instagram or like things like that. So yeah, I can't give you all the credit for it, but you definitely,
I won't take all the credit at all, but
you definitely encouraged me a lot. It was a long period of time where you were encouraging me. So that's who Rachel is. It's someone who is going to encourage you to become your best self, and it's just going to be real. And I thank you for that constant encouragement for me, because
thank you.
You're right. It is a better format to do this for podcasts. And like, what you're talking about.
Who loves a pod? Like when you're driving and like I said, I saw your videos and the magic, and the lady who was Jesus's best friend, that was the one for me, which was fucking epic. And I felt like the thing with Instagram is like sometimes we just don't have it. Like it's just becoming so like TikTok, very short, very instant gratification. Who doesn't just love a podcast in a car where they can just sit and listen to this lovely pace of chat and, interesting stories and calmness, or put it on when they're cleaning or in the kitchen? It's just such more of a podcast. And who's to say you can't repurpose this on Instagram as well, So, but I think the podcast for you is going to be a big platform and the direction where you want to go.
Thank you.
So I'm excited for you. I'm just saying I'm excited for you. Thank you for your kind words earlier. I appreciate that. That's very nice. And that British compliment, stop it.
Look, I'm sure I told you, because I've told many people who I work with, I'm a firm believer in karma doing what I do, obviously.
Yeah.
And I feel one of the worst things I can do is to mislead someone. So I say these things because I genuinely believe that, because I believe that the karmic ramifications would be so much worse for me if I were to say, "Oh yeah, I think you're going to be great," when inside I'm saying, "No, she's not going to amount to anything." So I say these things because I believe them.
I know this integrity. Yeah, is an important value of mine too. So I appreciate that. That's really kind. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I can't wait to see just how far you go and you up on that stage. And look, come on, we're going to call a spade a spade. You're fun to listen to. You're a good public speaker. Like, you're not dull. Like, it doesn't really matter what you're saying up there. Like, you're still going to be very entertaining up on stage.
Oh, I hope so.
And they're going to be like, did she just say fook?
Fucking hell. Sorry, guys.
It'll be
if
fun.
You've got kids around, I really do apologize. What's that?
Huh?
Hey?
Wait, what?
You gone? Oh, there.
Still here.
Yes.
So, yeah. So that's my spit take, I guess, on, I don't know if that's the correct terminology to use. Well, nah, it wasn't a spit take. You know, okay, I'm not funny, even though sometimes I think I am. Anyways, Rachel, thank you so much for being here today. And where can everyone find you?
Right. I almost forgot myself. So you can find me at rachelalyce.co. I mainly hang out on Instagram. I try other platforms, but I just fail miserably. I'm at rachelalyce.co. You can find me on Instagram.
Really quick, how do you spell Alyce?
Oh God, I forgot. Alyce. So it's Rachel, RACHEL, ALYCE.co. That is where you can find me. If you are thinking about a spiritual business and want to scale your business, then head on over to, check out my page and what I offer. And just, I'm still mulling the fact that you said that people send, I do think I end up attracting the most incredible healers. So, and then if you want to grab the book is called The Quarter Life Funk, Get Your Shit Together and Manifest an Abundant Life. And it's all about my Saturn return. It's all about manifestation, the real story of manifestation, not what you hear about The Secret. No offense to Secret, doing the work, forgiveness, with my stories attached as well. So make sure you check that out. It's on Amazon. I don't do an audio book, but maybe I should in my accent.
Definitely.
I'm not quite sure there. So yeah.
And also for everyone out there, I've taken a couple of Rachel's master classes and they're great. So she knows what she's doing. She's really good. And she's very engaging, because I'm someone who can get bored very easily while I'm listening to a presentation, listening to or watching a presentation, but she's great at what she does. And
thank you.
Well, Rachel, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. And
thank you.
I can't wait to have you on again. You're very welcome.
Amazing. I'm excited for the podcast ahead. And it's, like I said, guys, if you past life regression, it's incredible experience. Definitely recommend, especially everybody and entrepreneurs, everybody, because just go for it. And Daniel is super passionate about what he does. So it's just fun. It's just accessible. It's comfortable. It's mind-blowing. Get ready for crazy things to happen straight after. And that's when let's just circle back to why I said it was when I stopped, and you asked me quite a difficult question at the start. And I don't know if I answered it as well as I should have done, really. But when I said, hypnotherapy, you do get instant things happen after the past life regression. Like it's crazy, not like crazy synchronicities as well. It's mind-blowing.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, we could go around making me telling everyone how amazing I think you are. And
people are driving in the cars and they're bored of us now. So let's go.
We're like, we get it. You guys think that you're okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for being here, Rachel.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day. Take care.
Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a session with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.